What's up, everybody? And today I'm continuing on our journey and path and fucking entertainment and fucking education of Megadeth and the discography of that they are the legendary Megadeth band. And we are on record number 3. So far, so good. So fucking what? Now, a lot of you people don't know. Dave Mustaine, when he wrote So Far, So Good, So What, he also had Rust in Peace already wrote. Believe it! Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Now, the question is, with the riddance of a badass guitarist Chris Poland and Gar Samuelson, the question is, did he decide to do these songs with Chuck Beeler and Jeff Young because they were the weaker of the 16 songs? Or did he have a plan? We'll never fucking know what was going on in this man's head, because So Far, So Good, So What is a great album. It's a good album, but it's not a Rust in Peace. But again, lineup change number 2 for Megadeth on this record. The producer was Paul Laney. He did a horrible job, even though this was a hell of an album, thanks to Dave Mustaine and company. I don't think Jeff Young was a very good look for the band. He looked like a fucking glam rocker, and Chuck Beeler just looked like some bum off the street. I hate to talk shit about him. I'm just calling it how I see it. They were good musicians, but they didn't have the Megadeth look. I believe Dave Mustaine actually kicked Jeff Young out of the band because he thought that he was fucking with Diana, trying to have an affair. That's the true story. But, it is what it is. I don't think they are capable of doing a Rust in Peace album, them two guys. But it is what it is, and we're moving on. So Far, So Good, So fucking what? The cover of it, they only spent if I remember correctly, I read in a magazine years ago. I grew up in the 80s, kids, so I believe they said they only spent $10,000 making this record, and you can really hear it. Keep in mind, though, boys and girls, they were on lots of drugs. So, that being said, they really didn't have the money to probably hire a good producer, even though they were at Capitol Records, a big fucking corporate fucking company. I'm not sure what happened. I really ain't, guys. I'm not going to sit here and lie and make up bullshit and just be funny. I'm just calling it how I see it. The cover, the artwork, though. Let's get down to the artwork. Again, man, my brother's a huge Megadeth fan, too, and the CDs are in his car. A couple of them. The older ones, he won't buy his own, even though he's 5 years older than me, and he's rich. He's a cheapskate. But anyway, it's got Vic in some kind of army suit, and you can barely make him out. The artwork wasn't that great for this album, but it was still a fucking killer album. Let's get into the tracks, man. With the Chuck Beeler and Jeff Young episode, the only album they were on. Poor Jeff Young and Chuck Beeler. The way it is, guys. Dave Mustaine don't like a lot of folks. 17 lineup changes. But here we go. Into the Lungs of Hell. That is straight up a record that, a song that will make your mother be like, shut that fucking shit off! It's great. It's fucking great. It's killer. The energy's fucking great. It's one of the best instrumentals of all time. They can't, you've got a few instrumentals out there that's really killer. Orion being one of them. And Into the Lungs of Hell. Bad motherfucker. Okay. And I don't want to set the world on. Bow! That song's fucking badass, man. The fucking riff at the beginning. Man, fucking great. What else can you say, man? Classic Megadeth at its finest in this song. Lyrics are fucking great. This album was released, man. It was actually recorded in 87, but it was released January of 88. It's only 34 minutes long, so you've got Megadeth, and they're done. They slash through it and they're done, but some of their greatest songs are on here. Some of their most memorable songs, anyways, is on this album. And, cooking. Sorry, just got a shower. But, Now, Anarchy in the UK. We all know this is third album, third cover. Sex Pistols. And many, many, many bands have attempted to do this song. And I normally hate covers, but Megadeth always seems to pull out a fucking good cover. And they did an excellent job with Anarchy in the UK. If you want to hear the worst version of Anarchy in the UK, go listen to Motley Crue's. Okay, enough of that. It's a Sex Pistols cover. We all know who's in them, especially if you're from the UK. They're great. They're the gods of punk. Sid Vicious and company did a hell of a job on that song, and it's a fucking classic. We all know. Moving right along on the set list, Mary Jane. Now, we all know Dave Mustaine and Jr., David Ellefson, that being David Ellefson Jr., were big marijuana dealers back in the early days. Now, I'm not sure if he's actually talking about Mary Jane like marijuana. If you listen to the song and you know the lyrics, which I do by heart, it sounds like he's talking about a chick. But at the same time, man, he has a lot of internal references to his songs. So you decide, marijuana or a chick. Don't know, don't care. Moving along, didn't really care for the song too well anyway. 502, and it's interesting because my area code is 502, which Rattlehead 50222. Couldn't use 1-2, some fucker stole it. So, 2 2s looked weird. 3 2s were like, fuck it, why not? 502. And, basically, it's just him running from the cops and, being an asshole, being an anarchist, being an outlaw, being Dave, Some of his anger come out in this album. Again, Set the World Afire, Into the Lungs of Hell. I thought Into the Lungs of Hell, there's 5 really good tracks on here, really 6. And I'll tell you those in just a moment. My picks, anyway, for this album. There's only really 2 on here that's lacking anything. Next up, In My Darkest Hour. Now, that is a set list. Going to be on their set list forever. We all know why. It's great. It's the first time Megadeth actually let their pants down and said, okay, let's make something that will appeal to the audience. And actually, it was wrote for a movie, The Decline of Western Civilization. We all know this, but it's really good, man. It helped a lot of folks from, a lot of kids commit suicide in the 80s and shit, and it helped a lot of folks, man, get through some dark times. And kudos for Dave Mustaine for that, because he had no idea he was on so much drugs. He didn't know the actual impact it was going to make, because at the time he didn't give a fuck. Moving along, Liar. The lyrics to this song is great. Diana must have fucked him up because, or women in the past, because he really, really dogs women in this song. And I forgot who this song was referenced to. If you know, comment please. I forgot. But it's just funny, man. It's great. I forgot who it was in reference to, but I just remember reading the book, and he said it was in reference to somebody that he knew or something. And I forgot, man. I can't think of it for shit. But anyways, Hook and Mouth. Love it. Love that fucking song, man. I love it how he spells out freedom, and it's a political song. Again, Dave's political views back then were on point, on key. And I think this album, man, isn't Peace Sells, isn't Rust in Peace, but it's in there with them because, for the as short of an album as it is, the little money they spent on it, the unknown musicians they had, and the speed they had to make this album. They only had a couple of months to make this album with brand new musicians they didn't even know. It gets an 8.8 just because it has 6 really good tracks. They're all really good tracks. I'm not down in any of them. I really like them all. But Into the Lungs of Hell, Set the World Afire, Anarchy in the UK, In My Darkest Hour, Liar, and Hook and Mouth are the strongest songs on here. Obviously, In My Darkest Hour is going to get the most, but Into the Lungs of Hell, if you've ever seen it live with the fireballs and shit, it's fucking insane. It's great. How he plays Blackmail the Universe, which he don't do anymore, but it leads into the Lungs of Hell, which is killer. He does a really good job live. I really wish they would put it back on the set list. Maybe eventually, but they have so many records. I mean, you only got an hour and a half, tops on stage. How can you fit, even if you put 2 songs from every album, you're playing fucking 28 songs as of now. And that's a lot of fucking songs, man. Just 2 songs off every album. And, so eventually they're going to have to play they're going to be, going to have to play really long shows. They're going to have to charge more. And they're already doing it, with the Gigantour and stuff. But even the last time I've seen them with Gigantour, I mean, tickets were inexpensive, and yet they ran through like 30 fucking songs in about an hour and 15 minutes. And, they're just great, man. And that's about all I got to say for So Far So Good. So fucking what? It's badass. It's a good record. It's in between, and it's in a good spot because it's in between Peace Sells and Rust in Peace. It gives you kind of a break, a calm before the fucking #1 storm. I can't wait to do Rust in Peace. It's next. Tomorrow. Rust in Peace. It will be there, up fucking loaded for you to watch. I got a lot to fucking say about Rust in Peace. The best fucking album Megadeth ever made. Tomorrow, be there or fucking be square. Rattlehead the fucking 50222 out of here. But a great fucking night.